Don't need anyone's permission. Hi, I'm Ben. Welcome to my book corner, and I've really been looking forward to this one. Today marks the beginning of Trans Awareness Week, and also this is my third book in the Read What You Own challenge. I can't wait to talk about this. Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. I did have notes. I've lost them. It's going to be fine. As always, we're going to talk about the story, the characters, world building, and the presentation before I give my final thoughts at the end. Just jump straight into this one. I found my notes. This is a bonus. Okay, we're following Yadriel. Yadriel is a young man who is currently in the process of transitioning to male. And he's having some issues being accepted by his deeply traditional. A lot of this is due to the fact that the magic that takes place within this community is gendered. You have brujo, who are the male practitioners, brujo, who are the female ones, and he wants to be a brujo as he identifies as male. So he takes it upon himself to go off and, just before the Day of the Dead, perform the ritual, gain his powers from the Lady of Death. And it works. Unfortunately, he conjures the wrong spirit who does not want to go quietly into the night, and that spirit is Julian. Julian agrees to go if they go and check on his friends, as he was maliciously. While this is going on as well, Yadriel's cousin has also gone missing, and they're unable to find him. They've sensed him die-ish in the community. It's a bit hard to explain. Well, they can't find a body, and his spirit hasn't come back. And very much what you have now is you have a race against time. First of all, release Julian into the afterlife to prove, from Yadriel's point of view, that he belongs as a brujo, and also to figure out what's happened to the cousin and then the other missing people that it turns out have been going missing throughout this. This is a solid standing for the story. You have a race against time. You have the ongoing thing of trying to prove that this is who I am, accept me. You have the love interest between Yadriel and Julian as well. And you have a ticking clock into. You have multiple character going on. Starting with Yadriel, first of all. Yadriel is trying to prove that he is a boy. Because his community, which are very traditionalist, and his dad in particular, don't really see him as one. And there is a question at some point thrown into this: is, do you want to do the thing to become a brujo because you want to be a brujo, or do you want to do it to prove that you're a boy? And that is a really insightful thing, because not completely clear, and I think the answer is both, to be completely honest. But at times there is a little bit of a grey area there, and very much looking for that acceptance for who he is. Now, in terms of the community, or specifically his dad, the impression I personally take away from this, whilst his dad loves him completely, doesn't quite grasp that Yadriel is his son. He doesn't see him as that. He still sees his daughter because of his very traditionalist upbringing. And he's trying, I think, and messing up because he can't twist his mind around what the actual facts are. And you have scenes in here where you see Dad really hurt Yadriel, not deliberately, but with his words, and you get that anger and the disappointment and the rejection from Yadriel. But you also see the sort of shadow pass across his dad's face of, it means to do that, I've hurt my child. How can I make this right? And he can't quite comprehend until towards the end of the book what's going on. You also have Julian. Now, Julian starts off very much as this caricature, I suppose you could say, of the bad boy. Now, this is someone who has no filter when they speak. They have a bit of a rough and tumble past. They've been skipping school for years. They're allegedly in a gang. Their parents aren't around anymore. And he's just incredibly impulsive. And initially, you have a bit of a grating effect, Julian. But you sense something, and Yadriel actually starts to think, well, actually, no, he does look good in a strange sort of way. And then he realizes gay, and it's like, oh. And you get the natural build-up of that, but you start to peel the layers away from Julian. And he's got a genuine heart of gold. He's fully accepting of who Yad's is. He's fully supportive of what he wants to do. All he wants to do is make sure his friends are okay. And that selflessness comes through all the way through the book and sort of subverts the expectation for the typical bad boy trope. And the chemistry that they're written with is sizzling hot. I really cannot wait for the follow-up, which I believe is in the works, to see where their relationship goes, because it is chef's kiss. It really is. There are a few other characters in here. I'm not going to go into too much detail about them, but the major characters that come up several times, all of their sort of character arcs make sense. The things that drive them to act like they do work as well. Nothing seems particularly contradictory in here. But the centerpiece really is Yads and Julian, and they are. The world building is really, really strong. From the general world building about LA in general to the prejudice that the Latin community faces over there, especially things like there's an example where a couple of people are reported as missing, and because of their background, it kind of just gets shrugged off by the police. It's like, oh, it's gangland. Oh, probably just ran away. It's like, well, that's not how missing people work. The police officer. Where this really dives in is the heritage of Ruka specifically, talking about the preparations for the various ceremonies, talking about the different magical ceremonies they do, and the food. It made me so hungry. It really did, as they talk about the food, spices, and how they prepare it, and how they use it, and when they use it, and what you can feed to the actual ghost, which I think is amazing. And the ghosts themselves as well, they get a fair chunk of building about how the afterlife kind of works, why spirits get stuck, and how you release them, and different types that you get as well, because not all spirits are benign, and that's why the Brooker and the Brujo there to make sure that they never become a danger to normal people. And it is exceptionally well done, and you get the sense of this being a relatively functional community doing its best in hard times. And it is really well done. And when you then put that with the backdrop of the exceptional character work and the strong basis of the story, all comes together in what is a really, really presentation. Then not a huge amount to say if I'm completely honest, but we'll start with the front cover. Front cover's gorgeous. So it gets across straight away what's going on, so that's nice. Aiden Thomas has a really good skill at writing character interactions to lead here, just as in Sunbearer Trap. Yeah. And not just that, but focus on the little detail. Food is such an important cultural thing all around the world, and really helps separate and denote cultural heritage in a lot of ways. And it is exceptionally well done here, really drawing you in, making you want to be there. This book made me so hungry. It really did, because food just sounds amazing. You can almost smell it coming through the page. That is a real, real challenge to do. A lot of authors don't focus on things like that. They'll focus on the bigger picture of the world. And here, the bigger picture isn't really alluded to. You don't get any big descriptions of what the roads or the schools or the streets look like. You get bits about the actual graveyard, but you get a lot more about what's going on and the activities that are going on, just little things that make it feel like a living place. And I really appreciate that, because that draws me into the story so, so well. And Aiden Thomas does that better than a lot of people that I've read in the last year. Final thoughts. I absolutely love this. Can't wait for the follow-up. This has amazing representation. It has compelling characters, great interpersonal relationships. It does the little things with the world building so exceptionally well, and it links into the story. It is perfectly paced. It has a compelling narrative going on as well, on top of the character work that's happening. For what I believe was a debut novel, this is truly something special. This goes in easy A tier for me personally. It doesn't quite hit the top simply because I think Sunbearer Trials is a little bit better, but I cannot wait for the follow-up for this one. So that's my thoughts on Cemetery Boys. I will include a couple of links down below to do with Trans Awareness Week as well. Go check them out. show your support. Everyone should be able to be who they are without any sort of prejudice. I think we can all agree on that one. Well, that's my thoughts on this one. Love to know yours. Let me know below. Catch you next time.